Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Fantastic Four, or FANT4STIC as per the marketing material. And I just wanted to start by saying that this really is the definition of an awful superhero movie. It's so disappointing because this is the real time and age of great superhero films, and you know, there's so many blueprints and formulas of how to do it properly. But despite that, Fox still managed to produce this atrocious film, and it's just really poor and really disappointing. And I'll obviously talk about it in this review, but I just wanted to say the only shining light, the only glimmer of hope, the only good thing about this awful film is that it managed to cancel the franchise, and it's really allowed Marvel to kind of pick up the Fantastic Four mantle and do it properly. So, you know, that's the only really good thing to come out of this awful film. It's such a shame with this film, as it potentially could have been alright, but they just changed up one too many things that just made the final recipe just really bad. So for example, one of the things that they changed was to change the characters to teenagers. This could have been okay because it is very different to, you know, the other iteration of Fantastic Four, and could have aligned better to the X-Men, for example. But, you know, so that could have been okay. But then they added in this lens of darkness and grittiness, which is really unauthentic to the Fantastic Four kind of recipe and kind of the success formula of what the Fantastic Four actually stand for. So clearly they were trying to, you know, replicate the formula that the Dark Knight went through with Batman and tried to add a dark and gritty kind of tone to it, but just really did not work for the Fantastic Four. And I think that was one of their main kind of things that just meant that it wasn't a film that worked. So the film starts by introducing Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, who are childhood friends, and they're working on a teleportation device together, and this attracts the attention of Professor Storm, who invites Reed to join him at the Baxter Foundation, which is kind of like a research institute for young proteges. So that's kind of Reed's story, and then Ben's story is that he's got a brother that's a bit of a bully and kind of resembles Flash Thompson from the Spider-Man world. But that storyline doesn't really go anywhere, so that potentially could have been an interesting thread, but they just decided not to pursue that. But anyway, let's get back to Reed. So he is in the Baxter Foundation and he's working with the Storm kids, so Sue Storm and Johnny Storm, and they're working on their own kind of teleportation device, which transports people using quantum energy to another planet. So he's working with them, and Victor Von Doom is working with them on this as well. And kind of a lot of slow stuff happens throughout the film, and then kind of the main thing is, as we all know with the Fantastic Four, is that they are eventually successful with this teleportation device using quantum energy and transport themselves to a new planet. And on that planet they come across this lava radioactive alien substance, and that turns them into the Fantastic Four and into Doctor Doom. So it's the ultimate version of the Fantastic Four events, but it's kind of their origin story through the lens of the ultimate iteration and narrative of it. So as far as the characters go, obviously the Fantastic Four have a lot of charisma and have a lot of energy and have a lot of excitement, and they're kind of fun team members with superpowers and characters that you want to follow. But this one, the characters were just so bad. And it's just a real shame actually, because the acting was really bad as well. But you know, the actors that they had in this film were really good. So you know, you have Miles Teller, you have Michael B. Jordan, you have Kate Mara. So potentially it could have been alright, but the material that they were given was just so bad. There was zero chemistry between the different characters. When they were having their battles, it was just so lackluster. When there was an apparent love triangle between Sue, Johnny and Victor, but you couldn't really feel that. And you know, even when some characters die, the characters just didn't express their emotions. So it was just such a shame, because the acting could have and should have been better, and you know, the characters are potentially great, but it was just really executed really badly, and it was just such a shame. So in terms of the visuals, some bits are okay, but against the dark and gloomy background, you can't really see much. And this worked for the Dark Knight series, but it just doesn't really work for the Fantastic Four, because they, you know, we're used to seeing them as bright and vibrant, you know, characters in the world, and it just, you know, the visuals just did not work. Same with the battle and fight sequences. Some bits were like okay, but there was just no build up, there was no climax, and you're just leaving, you know, the battle sequences just being a bit like, meh, whatever, that was just, you know, not worth staying around for. So yeah, the visuals are just really, really poor as well in this film. So in terms of comparisons, you know, FANT4STIC just cannot compare to any of the other superhero movies. You know, any of the superhero movies by any of the studios, by Marvel, by DC, by Fox, by Sony. You know, none of them are as bad as FANT4STIC. This is just awful. So, you know, it does not allow itself to be compared to any of the other films. But let's do a, you know, one-to-one comparison with the other Fantastic Four, you know, franchise, which I personally thought was excellent. I really, really enjoyed the other iteration of the Fantastic Four, which had Chris Evans and Jessica Alba in it. I thought the casting was great. I thought the jokes were really funny. I think the tone was bang on. I thought, you know, everything about the other two Fantastic Four movies are great, but FANT4STIC, you know, does not compare at all. And I know they were purposefully trying to make it different. They were trying to, you know, change the ages of the characters. They were trying to change the world in which the characters live and kind of breathe in, but it was just executed so badly. And on top of all of that, the whole film just felt like it was a build-up to other movies. Maybe they were going to do a Fantastic Four and X-Men collaboration, or maybe they were getting ready for the next Fantastic Four movie. But I think this is a real example of how not to do kind of a self-contained universe of films, because, you know, Shazam, let's compare it to the recently released Shazam. Shazam is clearly allowing itself to have, you know, future spin-offs and collaborations and all of that kind of stuff, but what they do really well is that they've created a self-contained film and story and narrative, whereas with FANT4STIC, it was just, you know, just build up for the sake of build up for the next kind of movies, and, you know, alongside with really bad acting and visuals and no chemistry and just, yeah, just overall comparison to other superhero movies and the other Fantastic Four movies, it just does not compare in a bad way. So overall, I'm sure you can tell that I did not enjoy FANT4STIC. I thought it was a really bad film. I kind of went in wanting to like it because I really love superhero films and I really like these characters, and I wanted the film to be good, and I really liked, you know, the diversity twist that they did and the fact that they were kind of changing up one or two things. So I went in really open-minded, but I was just really, really disappointed. And overall, I just, you know, did not like FANT4STIC. I would not recommend it, and because of all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know what you think of Fantastic Four / FANT4STIC in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.